Module 3 is all about worship practice. Your rehearsals, regardless of the day they run, are another key time that can be used to build the team, shape culture, and practice worship. The first lesson in this module is about maximizing team. Running a rehearsal efficiently is not just about starting on time and ending when you said you would. It's about valuing the team. You know by now I'm all about placing value on the right things and letting that drive how and why we do the tasks. Rehearsals must be a highlight in your team's week, and that's what this module is all about. In this lesson, we're going to discover the importance of team, preparing for a rehearsal, making the most of the time, practicing worship, working with other leaders, and some personal application to end. Now, this lesson is mostly for those who run a rehearsal, like your worship leaders, music directors, and band leaders, but as always, there's something for everyone. Any leader would agree that one of their most important assets is the team around them. A good leader knows that they need the team that they have the privilege of serving alongside. Make sure you look after them. Get to know them. Ask them how they're doing on days other than practice day. Give them a call when it's not their week to play or sing, just to see how they're doing. Only speaking to your team when you need something from them is something you need to avoid at all costs. I love how the Bible explains how Jesus grew up. Luke tells us that Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. This is our goal as leaders too. You grow in wisdom and stature and favor by treating your team, those who God put around you, well. Don't just be a leader that leads from the top of your title. Be a leader who influences and inspires. In preparation for rehearsal, think through all that you need for a good rehearsal. Charts, words, pens, Bible, earphones, cables, pedals, stands, water, sound, setup. Do your preparation with your team's needs in mind. Even on those days when life just takes over and you run a few minutes late, you'll have done your preparation and be ready to go. That said, try arrive at least 30 minutes before you want to start. Consider how long it takes you to set up your instrument and turn on the equipment and whatever else you need to do. Try to have those things done before start time. And encourage your team to think the same way. A prompt start always sets you off on a good track and communicates to the team that you value their time and contribution. Have charts available for those who don't bring. Encourage people to take ownership of their own charts, but don't let a small thing like leaving charts at home waste time and cause unnecessary delay. Have a few extra copies available. Alternatively, communicate with the band on the day and ask them if anyone needs charts printed. This serves as a reminder to the team to come prepared, and you're serving those who genuinely need help printing them out. Ensure reference tracks and charts are in the right key. We discussed in the last lesson about considering all the things that can become detours and bumps on the road. As far as possible, have the songs in the right key. It'll save time transposing at rehearsal. And then you want to make the most of the time. When the team arrives prepared, you don't have to spend time on the basics. You can focus on weaving the journey, practicing worship together, which we'll talk about later in this lesson, and you have time to talk through ideas and possibilities and try variations of endings and chord structures for the musical parts. These are the things that practically assist in moving worship away from 4 or 5 songs to an uninterrupted time of worshiping God. Make it about more than just the mechanics of the songs. Build a culture of worship within the team. Prepare and communicate well before and during rehearsal to help the team move beyond the basics of just running through songs. Start on time and end on time, every time. This shows that you value people's time and it also makes you more efficient. If you didn't get through everything that you needed to at rehearsal this week, why not? What were the things that made you lose time? Did people arrive late? Did you spend too long on a particular song? Analyze the reason for not finishing on time and think of ways to improve. You should find the things you're learning on this course will help you anticipate and address things that cause you to go over time. Keeping people late just isn't effective at all. Rather, communicate the fact that you value their time more than the songs, and then work hard to address the detours in time for the next rehearsal. And then you want to prioritize practicing worship. Here's an exercise you can do until it becomes second nature for the team. Take the chords of a section of a song, like the chorus, and play through them over and over. This gives you a musical base to work with, and also trains the team to think beyond the structure of the song. Have different instruments take the lead at different times. This communicates that everyone needs to be prepared and that everyone can add to the worship, not just the vocalists. Have singers sing anything that's on their heart. It can be one line. It can be from a lyric of the song that you've just done, or it can be from scripture. This reminds the team that worship is not just about the songs. It doesn't start and end with the intro and ending of the songs. Practicing this way makes everyone on the team aware of the gaps and the opportunity to bring something inspiring. As the team gets used to this approach, you can flow straight into these kind of moments coming out of songs. You can also throw in a song that fits in well with one that's already on your set list and see how the team handles going with the flow. This will also train them to be prepared to go wherever God may lead. I go into more detail about this in the Practicing Worship Guide that you can download to the right of this video. The context of this lesson is preparation. When everyone is prepared, you move beyond the basics and practice worship. One of the most important things to this approach is being very comfortable with chords and keys and being able to hear which chords are being played. I have resources on this throughout the course that will help your team identify chords and patterns in songs that make it easier to improvise and go with the flow. Another way you can make the most of your team is to ensure that you have a good relationship with other leaders on your team and other teams and those above you. As worshippers, we can get quite passionate about how things should be done and doing things our way. We forget sometimes that God has put us in bigger teams. You may not always get on with everyone, but you can choose to respect them. The example for me on this is David in the Bible. David understood that God ultimately appoints leaders and wouldn't harm Saul. A verse that also comes to mind for me on this is Philippians 2, that says, "Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look out not only for his own interests, but also the interests of others." Don't be thrown by other leaders' decisions. Another leader may cut a song from the list or lead the meeting in a different direction. Prepare well, give your all and give your best, but always be mindful that you're one member of the body and that body grows as other parts also do their share. Consider how good it is to know that your team has your back, and make sure you have your leaders' back too. Pray for them. Work with them. Listen to the journey that they feel the church is on, and see how you can come alongside and work together. That kind of attitude and approach to team is what changes the culture of how things are done. It's inclusive, with a disposition of expectation and gratitude for those God has surrounded you with. So in this lesson we've covered the importance of team, how to prepare for a rehearsal, making the most of the time with your team, how to practice worship together, and our attitude towards other leaders. The personal application is to evaluate your rehearsal times. Where can you improve to maximize your team and your time? Download the rehearsal audit to the right of this video to help you do that. And then, how is your relationship with other leaders? What can you do to honor them this week and build a stronger relationship? Buy them a coffee. Ask them questions. Let them do most of the talking. Get to understand their thinking. Enjoy their company. It'll go a long way to building God's kingdom together. And this sets us up nicely for our next lesson in this module, which is about the importance of quality communication. I'll see you there.